Welcome back to the Let's Play world, where we are currently working on this Magic Castle Mega Base project. And in this episode, I actually want to finish off the custom biome that we have sort of started building around this base. We did do a bunch of terraforming, and we also built the entranceway and kind of got sidetracked with that and never finished building the custom biome. So I think we're gonna try and finish that off today. So I want to start off by planning out kind of where these things are gonna go. I definitely want a tree up here somewhere, and I want the waterfall probably coming down from a similar place as where the tree is coming down. We also have this little kind of shorter bit of building here, which I might turn into maybe a part of this garden courtyard area. Maybe the water can come out of there, but I think we're gonna have the tree right on the edge here somewhere. I think this will be a good position for a big custom tree. Now, I also talked about sight lines before and how I want the view of this castle to be kind of blocked when you're coming up the pathway here, which means we definitely need a tree on this hilltop somewhere. So that will be another big custom tree just up on that hill there, blocking all of this view so that you don't get to see it until you pass through these gates. And I think I kind of want maybe a few trees around this sort of entrance path. I'm thinking maybe one in here, like just here, and it can kind of lean over in this direction, so not interrupting the pathway at all. And then maybe one up there on the edge here maybe. And I think we should have a tree right on this sort of edge bit here, and we'll stick a tree right in the middle of here, I think. Some of these trees will just be kind of small custom trees. I'm definitely not going to be making like a lot of big custom trees. Now, I think what I want to do for the waterfall is actually turn this little sort of base of a turret thing maybe into like a little water like spring, fill it with water, close up that gap, and then have it spilling out down here and then off the edge of the cliff over here. I think that would look really cool, and then we will have it kind of winding off down into the water that is down over there as well. There are some pillagers suffocating in the dirt. That's Anyway, so I'll probably just kind of take out these kind of corner supports. Actually, that might even be too much. Maybe just one, and the waterfall will just flow over here. I kind of want it to look a bit magical, so it being a small pond that turns into a huge waterfall I think would look quite cool. And I kind of want it to like wind through the tree roots a bit. So along here through the tree roots, and then this will be where it spills over the edge and turns into a waterfall. Yeah, I think that will look good. I have a water bucket on me. Let me just kind of see how it falls from here. Let's go over here and look. Oh, goodbye. Okay, yeah, I think that will look really cool, I think. And I will obviously sort of sort out the bottom there so that it doesn't just spread all over it. In terms of the waterfall itself, I think that looks really cool, actually. I don't think I'll do too much to change how it's kind of naturally falling, actually. Do a little bit of tailoring to the ground. And then at the bottom here, we will definitely dig out like the area that it's landing in. Waterfalls kind of create a pond underneath them because of the force of the water that hits the ground. So we will definitely have something like that down here. And then a little windy river. Actually, I kind of want to try this out again. Let's go try this again with the water. So if we try this again, now that we've done a bit of refining. Yeah, I mean, that side's a bit awkward, but the rest of that looks really good. If we just make the pool at the bottom a bit bigger and sort of get this to come in a bit further on this side, I think that will look really good. And then it will obviously continue further along here. We'll fill this with water a bit better once we're happy with it. I also think I want to get some little amethyst kind of crystals, like they're bursting out of the ground. I think that would look really cool. And I think using this smooth basalt as kind of a base, so we'll have like smooth basalt and then amethyst coming out of it, like obviously way better than that, but that's kind of the vibe we're going for. And then maybe some like purple glass as well to go around it to make it kind of look cool crystally. So I think a few of those around could look really cool, and we want to sort of space them around where the trees are so that they're not grouped up too much in one place. We can kind of almost have them in places that trees can't go, like the sides of the cliffs can have these a bit more, and that then means that they're just a bit more spaced out anyway. Maybe up here somewhere, right about like here. I'm going to just put a smooth basalt down to mark where I'm planning on having these. Maybe we have one here, but also maybe in this little tunnel we have kind of a couple of little ones sort of sprouting out. I think that would look really good. And maybe then one here as we come out this side. This is, was this me? Did I leave these gaps here? Was this just me being really bad at terraforming? Or is this an Enderman? Maybe sticking out of the side of the cliff there. And then maybe one on the other side as well. One like there. Kind of there, maybe? See how that looks. Yeah, I think that will look cool. The water will be coming down the middle here. And we'll have kind of one there and one up there. And again, like the trees, we can always add more in later if we need to fill some more space. Once we get them in, we'll see how much space they take up. And I don't want it to feel too kind of cramped in of stuff. So we're going to start with less, and then we can always add more in if we need to. Now, I guess all we have to do is actually just build all of these things. Let's start with this tree. This is going to be probably the biggest tree. So let's start with this one, and I want to have a bit more of a root system here. Yeah, that should make a good base, I think. Ooh. Okay, it's got kind of a weird twisty shape, and it's on a diagonal, so it was a bit difficult to get that to kind of lean out. You can't really see it from over here either. So it kind of leans out over where the waterfall will be, and there's some branches. I think that looks like a good shape, and I think probably a good site. Once the leaves are on, it will end up being much bigger. So I'm going to use a combination of birch leaves and azalea leaves, the regular kind and the flowering kind. I think birch leaves and azalea leaves in this biome have quite a similar kind of colour to them, and this just gives us a bit of kind of texture difference and colour difference if we sprinkle these two together like this. And then the flowering leaves are going to kind of be grouped up together on the top in a little cluster, kind of like that. Okay, yeah, I think this tree looks pretty good. I really like having the flowering leaves kind of clustered together, so it looks like little flower clusters, I guess. Take a look from over here. Yeah, I think that looks pretty cute. Yeah, I think this looks good. I didn't want it to be too much leaves. Like, I don't want it to just look like a massive cloud of leaves. I think this looks like a kind of a realistic amount of leaves on this kind of tree, and it's hanging over where the waterfall is going to go. And we've got also some glowberry vines under here, which I will snip those to make sure they don't grow too long. And also a spore blossom in here as well, just for the particle effect. And from the courtyard side, yeah, I think that looks good. I really like where the water is going to go underneath the roots. I think that looks really cool. Now I just have to make a whole bunch more of these. So let's, yeah, we're going to try and make them all slightly different from each other. And some will be slightly smaller than this. This is kind of the design we're going to go for. They'll all be very similar to this. So let's just get working on all the other trees that I've planned the locations for. I feel like there's something missing from these trees, but I can't quite figure out what it is. And I think it maybe is just because the area isn't done. They're just kind of sat here by themselves. But we have some trees now, and we have a waterfall, and I need to go around and snip all of these off so that they don't grow too long. Maybe I should let this one grow down the waterfall. I wonder how that would look. Okay, I'm not going to snip this one just yet. I'm gonna leave that one as it is. You probably saw this angle in the replay, but I put some campfires down there so that it kind of looks like a bit of like a bubbling up situation as it's hitting the ground. It took a bit of tweaking to get the kind of water to flow in a way that looked how I thought looked good. So I'm hoping that looks okay. I think that looks okay now. I got some cobbled deep slate, and I think I'm just going to fill in where this water is going to be coming out of. So we want the water to spill out here. I wonder if maybe we just want it to be, yeah, something like that. Might be good. Oh, I keep falling off things today. Might be a bit wide. Minecraft water is so tricky to work with. Okay, I think that looks okay. I can't get a good angle to look at it. Yeah, I think that looks quite good, I think, actually. Maybe. It will do for now. We can always come back to it later. I am absolutely not adverse to making changes if we decide that something is not working. And we can just come back to it if we decide it's not working. Now we have got our trees in. We've got one around here, one over there. I think it's time to work on the amethyst crystals as well in this area. And while I've been building trees, I've actually had some really cool ideas of how I want to get the amethyst crystals to look. I'm not really sure how to build these. I'm just kind of making this one up as I go. But something like this. They might need to be bigger than that. That's just weird looking. Yeah, something like that though. We're going to have these amethyst crystals kind of growing out of the ground, and I kind of want this to be a part of like the magical aspect of this biome. And maybe the school was built here because these mountains have magical amethyst geodes growing around them, and that's part of why this is the location of the school in the first place. I just think it would be really cool to have like a whole bunch of these amethyst crystals kind of growing out of the ground around in this area, and then we can also put a bunch of like these growing and have them kind of be quite a distinct feature of this area. Like maybe this mountain has a lot of natural magical properties from the crystals, and that's why they built this school here. But yeah, something like this. I think that's starting to look okay. And then something else that I'm thinking would look really cool is I really need to get some lighting around here because we currently just have torch spam everywhere. So what I'm thinking we have, as well as like some floating candles, we're definitely going to add floating candles, but I am thinking maybe we make it kind of look like the frog lights are like detaching themselves from the crystals. Like these crystals are growing out of the ground, and then they're kind of releasing these like glowy particles, like something like that. And we'll put a few around each of these crystals kind of sprouting out of the ground, and they can kind of be like drifting off into the air and illuminating the area as well, and giving us some kind of like magical light that makes sense and isn't just me having to chuck a bunch of torches down. Or we do have a lot of lanterns along the path, so we should be fine there, but just the surrounding area, I think this actually would look really cool, and I really like this idea. I'm not sure how it's going to look on a bigger scale, but let's put a few more in and see if we can get this test one to look good before we start on a whole bunch of other geodes in this area. You know what? With a few more of those in and a few more amethyst, what are these called? Clusters on the crystal itself, I really like how this looks. So totally in theme with this area. And yeah, I can now just imagine like a whole bunch of these sticking out of the cliffs around here, of the kind of the mountainside, and just out of the ground in general. And yeah, I definitely think this is going to look good. I am definitely going to need to go back down to my geode and collect up a whole bunch more amethyst clusters, because just this one has taken almost half a stack. So I will definitely be needing to go and farm up some more amethyst, but I definitely think it's going to be worth it because I think this looks really cool. I don't know about anyone else, but I think this looks really cool and I think it fits really well with our magical theme. And then let's take a look from up on the path actually. Yes, that looks so good. So we'll have some, we won't have them kind of interfering with the path because we have the lanterns to light the path, but we will have them kind of floating around the outsides. I think we need to get a bit more in and see how it looks. Yep, I love this. This is really starting to pull this area together, and this just looks so magical and just really fits the area well, I think. And also it's nice and lit up because all of these are frog lights. Now I think we just need a few more finishing touches to really finish bringing this area all together. Let's grab some supplies. So I think I'm going to string some banners between the towers and the edges here. So if we start kind of something like that up towards the tower. Yeah, I think this looks good. Some banners along here. Maybe we have some more further down. Maybe over by these ones. I feel like we need more than just this set. We need a couple of sets, don't we? Okay, we have some banners in. I did them slightly differently up there and then in between over here and then the same down at the bottom as well. The other thing we definitely need around this path is candles. Of course, we need candles. And I want to have them floating. So we're going to... So I think that's probably enough candles. Again, I don't want to overdo it. We just want enough that we're kind of floating around the path, feeling all magical as we follow this path up and down. And I think just those little details have made such a big difference. And I think that that's probably plenty of candles for now. We'll save some more for inside as well. And then lastly, I have got a bunch of bone meal and a bunch of purple and blue flowers. We're going to get rid of these poppies because we don't want red flowers. We want grass and we want purple and blue flowers to match the rest of the area. And just chucking a bunch of bone meal down makes such a huge difference to like areas around builds. Like if you just want to make it feel like a build is like not just randomly sat in the middle of the ground, just bone mealing around it makes such a huge difference. And also adding a few flowers as well. It really does make it feel like these things are more a part of the scenery as opposed to just being sort of dropped down there. So we're going to add some flowers around. I kind of want to like cluster them like this. I think that looks cute and it feels a bit more natural than just having a total random spam of flowers. I think that we can say this surrounding area is looking pretty much complete now. It's quite difficult to kind of show all of the details as I walk around. We still have lots left to do on the outside of the build itself, but I think it will blend really well with the custom biome that we've got going on around here now, and I am really happy with how this base is coming together so far. There are definitely still going to be some spots that are not spawn-proofed. These frog-like crystals are definitely not going to be good enough to light everything up, so I will maybe go around and add some lighting in where it needs to be. But I also kind of like the idea of it being a bit darker as we move away from the castle and not necessarily perfectly lit up everywhere all around. This pathway is definitely going to be plenty lit up with all of the crystals and the candles and the lanterns. The pathway will be fine. We don't need to worry about that. Thank you for watching me build this custom biome, and I hope to see you in the next episode. Goodbye!